Hello and welcome back to another lesson about grammar. Yay! This lesson is going to be focused on indirect verbs. In Spanish, we call them verbos indirectos. The reason that they're called indirect verbs is because the word order with these verbs feels backwards to us in English. And you're going to see what I mean here in a second. I just want to get my paper down here. I have a fan on and it's like blowing my paper. So, indirect verbs. That's the one thing I really want you to understand before we move forward at all with this. We need to understand that the word order in these sentences is going to be different from what we're used to. Okay? That's the most important thing to remember with these. It feels backwards. That might want to be like your key word to remember when you see, oh, it's an indirect verb. Think backwards. You're going to see what I mean in just a second. Okay, some of these verbs we know and we've been using, and some of them might be new to you. Remember, if this is the first time you're seeing this, you'll have notes and a vocab list over in the classroom where you will actually see these listed. If for some reason you're seeing this video without that vocab list, maybe it's a bonus video that we're sending you, you might want to take notes alongside this video, okay? Write down the stuff that I'm teaching you. Let's jump into what these words mean, and then we're going to dig deeper into the backwards word order situation, okay? Say the word with me with the video. Number 1, aburrir. Do the best you can on the double R. I know it's hard when you're first learning. Aburrir. Aburrir, to bore. Number 2, encantar. Encantar. Encantar, to love, to really like something. We've said that before, that it is when you love an activity or you love a thing. We usually don't use this when we say we love a person. It's a different word in Spanish. That's one we've seen before, I think. Number 3, faltar. 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 It means to be missing or to lack. Not like I miss you. That's a different word. Like I'm missing my pencil. I can't find it. That's the kind of missing. Faltar. Number 4, fascinar. Say that with me. Fascinar. Fascinar. Fascinate or love. You can see how it looks like fascinate, right? And number 5, one that we know very well, gustar. Gustar. So, to test your knowledge already of indirect verbs, because you already know something about these, believe it or not, let's talk a little bit about how do I say, for example, let's translate this sentence. Bonus, let's translate, I like pizza. How would you say I like pizza in Spanish? Just say it out loud with the video right now. At this point, I hope that we know how to say something like I like pizza. So, how do you say it? Shout out with the video. How do you say I like pizza in Spanish? I'm sure you said it. If you didn't, if you need to think about it, pause. Remember how we say me gusta pizza or me gusta la pizza? Right? This is what I mean when I say indirect verbs. I just told you that gustar means to like. Kind of a lie. It actually means to please. So you're actually saying, to me pleases the pizza. That's really what you're saying. And can you see what I mean when I said backwards, backwards, that's the key word. That's the key word. This is not this word order that we would usually use in English. All of the verbs in this lesson and in the next presentation that I'm going to show you in this video are indirect verbs. That means we're almost always going to use them with this weird backwards word order, okay? That also means you conjugate it to match the thing that you're talking about. Because look, you're actually saying, if we want to flip the word order around to this sentence, the subject of this sentence is actually pizza. You're actually saying, pizza pleases me, right? So pleases needs to match pizza. It just so happens in Spanish it's the other way. We'll just have to remember that these are special indirect verbs. These verbs follow that weird backwards rule where we're going to conjugate that verb to match the thing. not to match I. We're not even going to use I in these sentences. If you remember the word for I in Spanish, I'm sure you do, is, yep, you know it, it's yo. We're not even using yo. Can you see that? We're not even going to use it. You don't use it. It would be incorrect to use it in this. So that's what I mean when I say the word order is different from what we're used to. It feels a little bit backwards. It's just a whole new thing for Spanish. This is just how these verbs work. Okay, we're going to practice with these. Don't worry, you're going to get more used to it as we go. Let's keep going. Let me just erase a few things, and we're going to continue. Let's do a couple of these. All right. I am just arranging the page so you can see all the words. There we go. Okay. On this page, I've already set up the verbs for you so that they're conjugated. All you have to do is fill in the blank. So do it with me. Say the words out loud. You may need to pause the video because I'm going to go a little bit quick. Check out the way that we do this. If you want to say she loves dancing, a ella le encanta bailar. It literally is like to her pleases dancing. Or to her enchants. That's what encanta means. To her enchants dancing. Dancing enchants her. Okay. So that's why we have that weird word order. Let's go on for number 2. Pause if you need to. We want to say golf bores us. You can pick a word from up here. Which one means bores? Yes, it is aburre. Nos aburre el golf. Say it with me. Nos aburre el golf. I know golf feels weird to say like that. Nos aburre el golf. To us, bores the golf. Number 3, we want to say, I love hot chocolate. I love hot chocolate. What word are we putting in the blank? Me encanta el chocolate caliente. Do say that with me out loud with the video. Me encanta el chocolate caliente. So remember, again, encanta is matching hot chocolate. We're actually saying hot chocolate enchants me. That's really what this means. To me enchants hot chocolate. Let's keep going, guys. Number 4, doing homework bores me. Now, the word order is flipped around to something that looks a little more normal for us on this one. What goes in the blank for bores? Hacer tarea me aburre. Yes, we're using aburre twice. That's okay. Doing homework bores me. Good. Let's go on to number 5. Always pause if you need to. That's the great thing about videos, right? We want to say fascinates. Fascinates. Listening to music fascinates me. What word is fascinates? The one that looks like it, right? Me fascina escuchar música. Say it with me. Me fascina escuchar música. Me fascina escuchar música. To me, fascinates to listen to music, or to listen music. Let's go on number 6. We want to say money's missing from my wallet. Oh no, that would be a terrible day. What word are we missing for lacks or missing here? Me, pause if you need to. Me falta, say it with me. Me falta dinero en mi cartera. To me, lacks money in my wallet. I know, it feels weird. Number 7, we want to say the aquarium fascinates them. In the blank, this one's easy because it looks like it, right? Say it with me. A ellos les fascina. A ellos les fascina el acuario. You do not have to put a ellos. That is optional. You could just put les fascina. But if you wanted to make it more clear, a ellos. We must put a. If you do choose to use ellos in these, with in front of the verb with these, you must put a. Because remember, these are backwards. So this is not really the subject of the sentence. You're saying to them fascinates the aquarium. The aquarium is the subject. It's the thing doing the fascinating. So that's why this becomes the indirect object or the direct object. Let me think. To whom or for whom would be indirect. Yeah. So that's why we have to put the a, okay? Okay, and finally, number 8, we want to say we like studying Spanish. So we're going to put in nos gusta estudiar español. Do say that with me. Nos gusta. Literally, it means to us pleases, but in other words, we like. All right, great job with that. If you have any questions, I'm always here to help you. I'm going to keep this up on the side because I want us to remember today, backwards is the key. Backwards is the key. Okay, just for fun, let's get this answer. This is going to help you practice a little bit with an answer in your real life. The question, ¿Qué clase te aburre más este año? ¿Por qué? I'm going to say the question again. ¿Qué clase te aburre más este año? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Which class bores you the most this year? If you are not sure about classes, here's some options for you. I'll say one that I probably would, actually liked pretty much all my classes, but let's just say the one I liked the least. Here we go. Me aburre la clase de matemáticas porque... why? I have to think of some reasons why. Why does math bore me? You could put like, es difícil, no es interesante, no es divertido. There's some choices you could put in the blank. So let me know your answer over in the classroom. If you're in the self-paced course, pop it over in the classroom. Like, write out the full sentence. Me aburre la clase de... Which class? Why? Porque... Okay. Excellent. I'm going to skip the next question because I want to make sure I get you the best practice for you. Remember, these lessons are made for all types of, I designed them for all types of different students. So sometimes I might skip the stuff that's not best for you. Okay, we're going to review some more grammar for the indirect verbs. This one is simpler. We're just going to talk about the difference between I like and you like. In other words, to me pleases or to you pleases. The difference that we got to remember on this page is two things. I'm going to get a little highlighter here. The difference, remember, in me gusta or me gustan. Remember that? I think we studied that a bit in Spanish 1. So if you're going to say I like one thing, we're going to say me gusta with an A on the end. And if we're going to say we like two or more things, we got to put an N on the end. And same thing for you like. Now let's take a look at the difference between you like and I like. These here. I know there's a lot of colors right there. What's the difference here between the words for I like and you like? Just notice the difference. What do you notice there? I'll tell you in just a second. The difference between I like and you like. You probably got it. Yep, it's just me and te. Did you notice how the end is the same? Gusta, gusta. It's the same. Same thing over here. Me and te is the difference. These are gustan. Yeah. So the only difference is that little word in the front. The little word in the front, I always mix up the name because there's many different names for this in Spanish. I'm calling the indirect object pronoun. We saw that in the indirect object pronouns lesson, or did we? Hang on a second. Let me look at my list. Depending on when you're studying this, I don't think we did. We did direct object pronouns. But, I think I just mixed up what lesson. I'm supposed to teach you indirect object pronouns. That's okay. We're going to do indirect verbs. Indirect verbs, I put indirect. I have indirect object pronouns lesson and an indirect verbs lesson. So, indirect verbs first. We'll do indirect object pronouns next time. That'll be in the second half. Let me write that down real quick. Isn't it great that you get one of my mistakes recorded on video? So we did indirect verbs here. Don't forget that, Sarah, because that's flipped around from our usual. That's okay, it doesn't matter. Both of them are part of Spanish 2. It's just that indirect object pronouns will now be in semester 2. Cool. Okay, this little word, the me and the te, this is your indirect object pronoun. There are also direct object pronouns, which we did study, I believe, a couple classes ago. Okay, so what we want to do here is we simply want to choose the right verb in these questions, okay? So let's go number 1. You're trying to say, I like to eat cheese. So which one in parentheses would you pick to say, I like? Pause if you need to. I am going to move through these a little quickly, as usual. Yep, it's going to be me gusta. To me pleases. Right. Also, you have this little optional starter. You might want to write this down. I don't think this is written on your notes. Okay? Here are your optional, I cannot remember what these are called, but you've got these starter phrases. And then the rest of them are going to be just regular old subject pronouns. A ella, a usted. Give me just a second. I'll write them all out for you. Vosotros, a ellos, or ellas, or ustedes. I'm going to put a slash after ellas there. Oops. Let me just double check to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. That looks good. Okay, you can kick these off with these phrases. Notice, me has an accent mark. T does not have an accent mark. Okay? So, for example, let's look at our example sentence about I like cats. A mí me gustan los gatos. To me pleases the cats. Remember what I said? When you like two things, cats has an S on it, two or more, we're going to put an N, alright? That's got an N. We kick off with the little phrase, a mí, if you want to. It is also perfectly correct to just say, me gustan los gatos. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just kind of emphasizing. If this is new for you, write this, pause the video in just a second and write this down. I cannot, like I said, I do not remember what these phrases are technically called. I'm going to put these as optional phrases to put in front of indirect verbs. Optional phrases to put in front of indirect verbs. That's what I would do. So pause the video and write that down. Write those phrases down on your vocab sheet or on a piece of paper, because I don't think I've included those, at least as of right now. Okay, I'm sure you paused. I'm sure you listened to me. Let's go back to check out number 2. We want to say over here, you like frogs. So, what would you pick in the parentheses for you like? I'm sure it's very obvious to you. A ti te gustan, right? Te gustan las ranas. Let's go on to number 3. You want to say, I don't like math. I don't like math. Which one are you picking there? I know, I'm really biased against math. If you like math, good. Number 3. Yeah, a mí no me gustan. So if you want to say I don't like something, just put no before it. A mí no me gustan las matemáticas. In Spanish, math is plural. So the English believe that math is plural as well. They always say maths. That's technically probably the way we should all say it. So that's why we got to say gustan. A mí no me gustan las matemáticas. You can also just say no me gustan las matemáticas. That's fine. Let's go on to number 4. A ti, you let us say you like to play video games. In the parentheses on number 4, which one are you picking to say you like? You got it. Te gusta jugar videojuegos. Good. And number 5, we want to say I like salad. Me gusta. Good. Me gusta la ensalada. Excellent. Now, we're going to go a little deeper. This was talking about the difference with basically the I and the you, so yo and tú, in other words. Now we're going to see the rest of these indirect object pronouns for everybody else. So let me just erase some things. I do want to keep those phrases. There you go. And scooch down so everybody can look at these. Okay. These, in this box over here, oh, that's actually drawn on the slide. These are the ones that correspond to the, what are those called? The subject pronouns. Remember, in these sentences, we're not going to be using the usual subject pronouns. You cannot kick off one of these sentences with just saying yo, or ella, or ellos. You can't do that, because these are not the subject of the sentence. You can use them like this, with the a in front, because these are indirect objects. They're receiving the action. Let's check out number 1 for example. We want to pick the right thing from the box, and then we'll conjugate. So there's 2 pieces. I'm going to do number 1 together for you so you can see what we do, okay? So we got a nosotros blank nadar. We want to say we like to swim, is what we're trying to do. Okay, so step 1, let's pick the right indirect object pronoun from the box. That's going to be the blue words. Pick the right blue word from the box. I'm sure you can figure it out. It's going to be nos. You can simply look, see how I got nosotros. Nos goes with nosotros. Okay, good. Nos. Now we have a verb after that, okay? So we got to think, okay, is it going to be like gusta? Is it going to be gustan? If it's a verb, you're going to follow the singular one. So here you're going to say, a nosotros nos gusta nadar. A nosotros nos gusta nadar. It literally is, to us pleases to swim, or to us pleases swimming. That's what I mean when I said nosotros is not the subject. It doesn't say we like to swim. It says to us pleases to swim. Okay, let's go on with number 2. First, let's pick the correct indirect object pronoun from the box. Which one's it going to be? If you're confused about how to find that, just look for ellos and get the blue word next to it. There you go. It's going to be les. I'm going to move some things around, okay, so I have a little room. Here we go. Les. And then we have a verb after that, hacer, so we're going to put in a singular form. A ellos les aburre hacer la tarea. Yes, to them bores to do homework. Okay, let's go on to number 3. First of all, find your indirect object pronoun. We got a mí, so you can just, that doesn't really help you. It's for yo. A mí goes with yo. It's the only ones that are different. A mí and a ti are unique. Alright, so there you go. Me. And then we got to conjugate fascinar to match with las plantas. Okay, that is plural, las plantas. So what ending are we going to put on that? What ending are we going to put on that? I know you know this, so I'm going to go ahead and write it for you. Yep, it's going to be A-N. This goes back, you see how it's an AR verb? This is the same rule for AR verbs in the present tense. This is something we did in Spanish 1 together. AN goes with ellos, ellas, ustedes, the ending, right? That's the things, multiple things, they. So that's why that's getting AN. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, message me and I'll help you out, okay? Let's go on to number 4, a ustedes. Okay, number 1, first thing we do, what do? We're going to figure out what's the indirect object pronoun, right? So that's going to be up here in this box. What's the correct one to go with ustedes? I'm sure you can see it. It is les. Yeah, that's not a typo. Les does go with ellos and ellas and ustedes. Good. And then we have a verb, cantar. Remember that means to sing. Okay, so how are we going to do in cantar? What ending are we going to put if we have a verb after it? Yep, we're going to put encanta. Les encanta cantar. Or a ustedes les encanta cantar. You guys love to sing. Or to you guys pleases to sing. Or to you guys enchants to sing. That's what encanta means. Okay, and finally number 5. I'll let you stick it in there. Yes, a ti te. We're going to conjugate faltar to match with dinero. Dinero means money. We're going to treat it like a singular thing. Te falta. A ti te falta dinero. To you lacks money. You lack money or you're missing money. Okay, very good. Now I know this feels backwards. It's going to take you some time to get used to it. But please remember, again, backwards, 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 backwards. These verbs are backwards. If you did not write these down, do it now. Please. Most of them are the same anyway. See, we have the subject pronouns here, but we do have a couple weirdos here. A mí and a ti are a little different. All right. Great job, great job. I'm just going to check and see what we have, because I do have 2 lessons, so I'm going to pick out what is most useful for you, okay? Okay, let's go ahead and kick out of grammar mode for a second and ask you the question. ¿Cuál pasatiempo te fascina? ¿Cuál pasatiempo te fascina? Which hobby fascinates you, or which pastime to you fascinates? We're going to kick off with me fascina. Me fascina. Say that with me. Me fascina. You can pick from here, or you can put your own thing in the blank. ¿Cuál pasatiempo te fascina? Me fascina. I don't know. I'm going to say, this isn't true for me, but I'm going to put in, me fascina pintar. Painting fascinates me. Me fascina pintar. Let me know over in the classroom what your answer is. I'd love to know a little more about your hobbies. Is there anything I wanted to say? Okay, let me just make it really clear. Can we do this? What do you think? Can you say, yo me fascina pintar? Is that going to be okay? According to the grammar that we've learned so far, can I say, yo me fascina pintar? Look at my face. You know that's going to be a no. No, we don't use yo with this. Me fascina pintar. Yo is not the subject. You're saying, painting fascinates me, not I am fascinated by. Okay? We're not using yo. Alright. Let's take a little... yeah, I want to take a little break because I want to move into the second one. Okay, I'm actually going to pause this, and I will be right back. And feel free to take an intermission here. We're back. We've had our intermission. We have our beverage, water. Hopefully you have a beverage. We're going to jump into part 2. This is the same thing. I'm just going to teach you 5 more common indirect verbs. And we're going to use them a little bit here. First of all, let's remember, a little memory action here, what these verbs mean. Okay. Let's walk through. Faltar. Which one would you put that with? Faltar would be, yes, to miss or to lack. Remember, missing something. Not like, I miss you. Not the same thing. Fascinar. Say that with me. Fascinar. That one's super easy, right? Because it looks like it. Fascinar. To fascinate or to love. Good. You're doing great. Encantar. Do say it with me. Encantar. That one is to really like or to love something. Not loving a person usually. Gustar. Gustar. That's the one we know and love. That is to like. Really to please you. And aburrir. Roll the R if you can. Aburrir. That is to bore. To bore. Awesome. Okay, so we remember those 5. Let's continue on with the next 5. These are not all the indirect verbs in Spanish. This is just some of the most common ones, okay? Okay, let's kick off with number 1, importar. Importar. Say it with me as usual. To matter, to be important. This is nice because it looks like important, so it should be pretty easy to remember what that one means. The number 2, same thing, interesar. Say it with me. Interesar. Interesar. Into interest. Number 3 does not mean what you think it means. Molestar. Say it with me. Molestar means to bother, to annoy, to irritate. This one is interesting. This verb has many different meanings. So let's say it together first. Quedarse. Quedarse. Quedarse, to be left over or to fit. Or, as we learned in our hotel lesson, to stay in a hotel. Yeah. So, yeah, it depends on the context for that one. And finally, parecer. Say that with me. Parecer. Parecer. To seem or to appear. To seem or to appear. Like, to appear to be. Not like, it appeared suddenly. That's a different word. It appears to be, I don't know, she appears to be a nice person. She seems to be a nice person. The appears, that means the same thing. Okay. Let's do a couple of these. We don't have to do all of them. We'll do a couple to kick you off, and then if you want to do the rest, you can always, do those. Okay? Let's go, because I don't want to make this too long. It's already 35 minutes long, right? Okay. Let's go on to, we have me interesa aprender español. I'm interested in learning Spanish. Really, to me, interest to learn Spanish. Remember, this is backwards, 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 backwards. These verbs are backwards. You're never gonna see yo with these verbs. Okay? Okay, let's go on to number 2. We're trying to say the dog bothers the cat. Pick the word from the blank that means bothers. Bothers. Molesta. Yeah, el perro le molesta al gato. El perro le molesta al gato. That word actually is, that sentence is written in the usual word order. Sometimes these verbs can be regular word order, just depending on what they are. Let me just get a quick drink here. Okay. This is a good example for something that fits. We're trying to say the t-shirt fits me well. What word from the blocks goes with that? Yep, it's going to be queda. Me queda bien. Say that with me. I'm saying this phrase here. Let me highlight it because it's like out of order. Here we go. Me queda bien. Say that with me. Me queda bien. Me queda bien. To me fits well. To me suits well. Me queda bien esta camiseta. Fits me well. Okay, it's not what it seems. Which word from the blank means seems? Pause if you need to. Yes, no es lo que parece. No es lo que parece. Alright, let's go on to number 5. I'll just finish them because I know it'll drive you crazy if you don't know the answers for sure, right? Number 5, you're trying to say it doesn't matter to me or it's not important to me. Number 5, no me importa el precio. No me importa. No me importa. Say that part with me. No me importa. Doesn't matter to me. Number 6, we're trying to say he's interested in the cars. He's interested in the cars. The cars interest him, in other words. Le interesan. Le interesan los carros. The cars interest him is really what we're saying. Let's go on for number 7. He appears very cute to me. Yes, me parece. Me parece muy bonito. Let's say the first part together. Me parece. Me parece. Excellent. And finally, number 8, we're trying to say loud noises bother me or loud noises annoy me. Me molestan los ruidos fuertes. Did you notice now it gets an N on the end? Same thing as we did for the previous words. It gets an N on the end because what's following is plural. Okay. Very good. And these are all, this is in the present tense. We're talking about, these are verb conjugations right now in the present. It bothers me. It interests me. Not it interested me or it bothered me. We got to change the verbs a bit for that. But they still follow present tense, past tense, whatever. These verbs are still going to do this backwards word order thing, okay? Okay, we're going to continue with a little bit more practice. I don't want to do too much because we've already had such a long lesson. But there are a couple of really good things we can hit here. I want to focus on you and asking you these questions, okay? Question for you. ¿Te importa sacar buenas notas en la escuela? ¿Te importa sacar buenas notas en la escuela? So, is it important to you to get good grades in school? Sacar buenas notas. Say that phrase with me. Sacar buenas notas. It's one way to say get good grades. It literally means to pull out good grades. ¿Te importa sacar buenas notas en la escuela? Buenas notas en la escuela? ¿Por qué o porque sí o porque no? Why or why not? Okay, so you can pick an answer. You could say, probably most of you will say, sí me importa. Let's say that together. Sí me importa sacar buenas notas porque fill in your blank. Now, if it's a no, that's okay. I'm not judging you. If you want to answer for yes, you can choose from over here. If you want an answer for a no, you could choose from over here. You could also make up your own answer. Let me know over in the classroom what your answer is. I would love to know. ¿Te importa sacar buenas notas en la escuela? ¿Porque sí o porque no? Tell me over in the classroom. We're going to do one more question for you just to practice a little bit more with the word orders, the word order with these backwards indirect verbs. The question, ¿te interesa viajar a otros países? ¿Por qué? Same situation. So, ¿te interesa viajar a otros países? Does it interest you to travel to other countries, or does traveling to other countries interest you? Why? You can answer with sí me interesa. Remember, we're not putting yo in this. Nope. We're not doing that. We're either going to pick sí me interesa or no, or just no me interesa. ¿Por qué? Let me know over in the classroom what your answer is. If you pick a yes, you can choose from one of these. If you pick a no, my colors are kind of off here. It's actually, I can't handle it. We have to make it make sense. If you pick a yes, It's got to be green. You can choose from one of these. If you pick a no, you can choose from one of these. Let's scooch it so you can see them, okay? So let me know over in the classroom. I'd love to hear what you have to say. All right. You will definitely have some homework to accompany this lesson, and this is definitely something you're going to see on testing in the future. We want to make sure you remember how to use indirect verbs. They're really common in Spanish, and they are kind of backwards feeling to us English speakers because we just don't have anything like these verbs in English. Make sure you do review the indirect object pronouns. That's me, te, le, les, nos. You're going to use those before the regular verb. All right? Okay, that is it for this lesson. You will, of course, have some homework over in the classroom. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Nos vemos. Hasta luego.